Buenos días, señoritas. Lección 6. The present perfect tense, el presente perfecto, is all about saying what has been done. Some examples in English. I have read already today. I have eaten too. And I have watched some TV. How about you? Have you texted today? Have you gone outside today? Have you driven a car today? Those are examples of the present perfect in English. In Spanish, it's basically the same way. So, entonces, tomen sus apuntes y hablaremos en clase. Vamos a practicar mucho. Gracias.
Clase, do you remember forming past participles? I'm sure you do. Wasn't that long ago, past participles. We're going to use the same past participles to form this new tense. In fact, every perfect tense that we learn, and there will be at least 4 that you will learn this year, will use past participles. This is the present perfect indicative. Please remember, it's indicative. In other words, it's going to be talking about facts or real information. Now, our textbook calls it, in Spanish, el pretérito perfecto, but I'm going to call it el presente perfecto. Some textbooks call it el pretérito perfecto. Some call it el presente perfecto. I think it's a lot easier to call it el presente perfecto. But you have to keep in mind that it's a compound tense. That means you need 2 parts. To form the present perfect tense, you need 2 parts. And you'll learn those 2 parts in a minute. And so, as I mentioned before, the present perfect is used to talk about what someone has done or what has occurred. And here are the 2 parts. It's haber plus the past participle. So we're going to learn the forms of haber in the present indicative. And the good news is that you know how to form past participles. So that's half the battle right there. And so this tense is usually referring to the recent past, but not always, but usually it does. Here is the first part, the forms of haber. This is haber in the present indicative. Yo he, tú has, usted, él, ella, ha. Nosotros, nosotras, hemos. Vosotros, vosotras, habéis. Ustedes, ellos, ellas, han. This is an irregular verb. It's only a helping verb. It's only a helping verb. You're not going to use it like the verb tener. It's a helping verb. Your past participles, do you remember the regular past participles? Sure you do. Come on now. There it is. Bailar, bailado. Comer, comido. Vivir, vivido. So you just drop off the infinitive ending if it's an AR verb, ado, ER, and IR verb, ido, if it's regular. Do you remember the verbs that take an accent mark over the I and ido? Here they are. Caer, caído. Creer, creído. Leer, leído. Oír, oído. Reír, reído. Sonreír, sonreído. Traer, traído. And we have the irregulars. The toes and the chos. Do you remember them? Here's dicho, hecho. Remember that famous expression? Dicho y hecho. Then the rest are all toes. There they are. Do you remember these? I'm sure you do. So here are some examples of the present perfect. Tú no has aumentado de peso. You haven't gained weight. Yo ya he leído esos libros. I have already read those books. The ya means already. Oops. There we go. There we are. 2 more examples. ¿Ha asistido Juan a la clase de yoga? Has Juan attended the yoga class? Oh, perdón. It should be zoga, ¿verdad? Or is it I think it's with an X, ¿verdad? Zoga, algo así. Hemos conocido al entrenador. We have met the trainer. Just some examples of the present perfect tense. Here are 3 verbs formed in the present perfect tense. The first one is tomar. He tomado, has tomado, ha tomado, hemos tomado, habéis tomado, han tomado. Aprender. He aprendido, has aprendido, ha aprendido, hemos aprendido, habéis aprendido, han aprendido. So get to know these forms. One more verb, the verb hacer. Remember, hacer is past participle, is irregular. Come on now, pen. There we go. He hecho, has hecho, ha hecho, hemos hecho, habéis hecho, han hecho. And now we have special points. And these are real important, class A. These special points are very important. The first one, you should applaud because the past participle does not change. In any of the perfect tense that we learn, the past participle will always end in an O. It does not agree. That's when it's used as an adjective, which we've already done. Here's an example. Clara ha abierto las ventanas. Clara is a girl, but notice that the past participle is abierto because it's the present perfect tense. But las ventanas están abiertas. This is when we use the past participle as an adjective. So abierto has to change the abiertas because ventanas is feminine plural. So once again, the past participle in use with any of the perfect tenses, like the present perfect, will end in an O, the masculine singular form. Special point number 2, the block that never breaks. I love saying, that's one of my favorite expressions, the block that never breaks. Haber plus the past participle form a block and can never be separated by any word. The word no, any object or reflexive pronouns are placed before haber, before haber. Susana ya se ha entrenado. Ellos no lo han terminado. Special point number 3, señoritas. Number 3. The verb to have. We have haber and we have tener. Please don't get those confused. Haber is only a helping verb used with the perfect tenses. Tener is the main verb that you already know very well. For example, tengo muchos amigos. I have a lot of friends. You are not going to use haber for that. Haber is only used with the present perfect tense. He tenido mucho éxito. I have had a lot of success. Please do not get those confused. Special point number 4. This is our last special point. Number 4. The impersonal expression. There has been or there have been. This is the impersonal expression. Ha habido. Ha habido means either there has been or there have been, depending on the quantity. So, ha habido muchos problemas con el nuevo profesor. There have been a lot of problems with the new professor. That's the impersonal expression in the present perfect tense. Ha habido. And finally, we have 2 words commonly used with the present perfect tense. 2 words, and they are ya, which means already, todavía no, not yet. For example, ¿ya has comido? No, todavía no he comido. Sí, ya he comido. Please remember that haber plus the past participle forms a block. You cannot break that block. The block that never breaks. Here it is again. Haber plus the past participle form a block. A block that never breaks. Please don't put anything inside that block. Do not ever attach pronouns to a past participle, señoritas. Remember, pronouns, negative words, and even adverbs go before the block that never breaks. Entonces, en clase vamos a practicar más. Si ustedes tienen preguntas, estaremos en clase. Gracias.